name, where you were born?
I'm Barbara E. Ensinger Newberry, and I was born in Pennsylvania on December the 4th, 1934.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the winter time, and I believe that my parents had a problem getting the doctor because Mom and Dad both told me that that I lay there in my mother's arms for an hour with the umbilical cord still attached, and had to wait until the doctor came to cut the cord. And I had a close relationship with my mom, and I kind of thought that might have been part of it. One of my first memories as a child was when my older brother, Bill, Robbie's dad, had picked me up. I was about 3 years old, and we had moved into the house that Dad had built for Mom. He picked me up at the top of the stairs and brought me down the stairs. And I kept kicking all the way because I was so independent that I turned around and went back up and then came down myself. And I remember Bill laughing about that. But I was determined that I would do things that I felt was right, even at that early age. And then another memory that I have from childhood is when I had to go to the bathroom, and we only had an outhouse. And it was late at night, and I was afraid to go by myself. So my brother Bill had to go with me, according to Mama's rules. And so he went out and stood outside the outhouse and waited for me to do my thing, and then we came back in. But my mother didn't want us to be afraid, so she had him do that. And then some other memories are, my mom said to me a number of times, "Babs, never get old. Never get old." And so I guess I kept my mindset on not getting old. And so even now at age 68, last night I did 20 push-ups. And so I have that to remember from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad was another influence on me. He hardly ever stopped us from doing things that were productive and that he felt were good. So a lot of times I stayed up late at night helping my dad in the kitchen when he was putting the cupboards in the house. And another time was when he was laying stones for the foundation of the barn that he built there on the old homestead. So I remember working with my dad too. And then another time, another display of independence, but our parents never discouraged us from being independent. But another expression of my own independence was when Uncle Jake came with apples in the back of a truck. And he, I guess we had helped unload them or something, and us kids were standing around. Stella and Phyllis and the other girls and myself, and Uncle Jake motioned for me to come over to him, and I didn't. I didn't want to be singled out from my sisters. I wanted to be included in that close-knit family, and so I would not go over as someone special. I didn't go over to him. If he couldn't take all of us, then I didn't want to be there either. Let's see.
Tell me about your family.
Oh, my family now consists of my son, John. I just have one son. And John Stephen Newberry. He was married before, but was divorced. And then he met this girl from Salem, Indiana. Her name is Dana. And she has 4 children, so that made him an instant father and me an instant grandmother. And I love those children dearly, and he does too, of course. He adopted the 3 younger ones, but the older boy, whose name is Shane Spurgeon, wanted to keep his name, and so the others have the Newberry name. John owns a computer store, and it's called The Computer Store in Salem, Indiana. So if you're ever in Salem, it's right on the square, and stop in and see them. They're having a problem with their original home they bought there. It has a black mold, and so they've been out of that home for almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in September. And they miss it, but I think it'll have to be torn down and a new one rebuilt.
Any words of wisdom?
Yes. I became a Christian in 1982. And since then, almost since then, since I moved out to Chicago, was transferred there with the company I was working for, I got to study the Bible. And so I would encourage anyone who wants to get closer to the Lord to study the Bible. He is the Word. Jesus gave us His Word. A lot of people call it His letter of love to the Christians. And I would say, get stronger in your faith. Love God. Love people. Never mind the things of the world. They'll pass away. The Bible clearly says that. They will pass away. But relationships and the things that we can't touch are what are going to last. But there's an old saying, things on earth and our life will pass, but only what's done for Christ will last. So I would leave that. Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and spirit, and your neighbor as yourself. Amen? Unless you have some more questions.